Seriously, Insomniacs, are we gonna really do this? Are we really gonna do this? Why, Japan? Why are we obsessed with this story mechanic? Warning, before anything else, I want to establish something very, very clearly. For one, I'm going to be talking about Insomniacs After School up to episode 6. 2, I am speaking purely on speculation. I don't know anything yet in the story. I don't know where the story goes and whatnot. And third, if you know the source material, I am not asking for answers. Please don't go down the comments and answer every question I'm about to have. This is purely speculation and semi-rant / semi-having fun. Keyword, I'm having fun. I don't know why now I have to start saying that before videos, even though it's not going to change certain commenters. They're still going to do it because 1, they just want to be mean, and 2, they take everything too seriously. But no, I have to get this off my chest. Now that that warning's out of the way, I am so... I don't know if I want to continue watching Insomniacs After School. Should I just stop watching now? I don't know. It's such a struggle for me whenever this thing keeps coming up in anime. It almost feels lazy in a sense, but at the same time, yeah, you can sort of give that mindset of, hold on, you're liking this writing. They're probably going to do something good with it. Chill yourself. Cool down. It's okay. This might actually turn out to be something really good. But yeah, to give a little bit of a history lesson here of my journey through Insomniacs After School, starting off the show, great. Love the show overall, by the way. But at some point, I made a joke. I made a joke to everybody around me at this point in which they talk about this ghost story. That Magari made up this story about this ghost in the observatory. That some girl was in love with this guy that was in part of this soccer club. She confessed, it failed, she went up to the observatory and jumped from it. And then he went over there and used the telescope and seen this girl on the moon waving at him. It was the girl that jumped from the observatory. And he spent the rest of his life like thinking about this, the fact that she waved back at him, and then in his deathbed, he realized, oh, she was waving me to come to the moon. Now that story that Magari made up, now that that's out of the way, I move on. Really cute show, enjoy the characters, chemistry is great, and then at some point, like in the second or third episode, Magari stands in front of the telescope after they start the club up, and basically calls out to Nakami. And I made a joke. I made a joke at this point, watch, she's going to die. And she's going to be waving at him. It literally just set this up here. It was a cute little scene because it's pretty much Magari saying that she loved Nakami, or liked it at that point. Because yeah, that the story itself was this idea of the girl loving the boy and calling him to the moon in the afterlife, basically. Calling him home. And again, I made the joke that, there it is. We just we just flagged her right there. And yes, of course, when they were having their night outing, she mentioned the idea that when she was younger, she was really ill and really weak and really frail. And she like, oh, but I'm fine now. Don't worry about it. It was just her. And I sort of was trying to disregard it. Like, well, okay, that's fine because it's sort of just establishing that's the reason why she's not very open with people about her insomnia. She doesn't want to make people fear. So I thought that whole thing was just to set up, okay, it's fine. Magari just doesn't want to worry people, and that's a good reason why she wouldn't, and why she wouldn't be open with people. But no, they couldn't leave it at just that. Everything was fine for a while. Like, I'm like, okay, this is fine, it's really cute, I love these characters, they're super cute together. Moving on, and then eventually it happened. I won't say where from, but we had our moment just like that one show with certain instruments and a guy getting back into instruments because of a cute girl, and cute girl at some point has pills sitting on a bench. And I'm like, I knew then in that show, red flags, this is going to be a tragic girlfriend show. This is going to be 100%, this will be a tragic girlfriend show. And I think that was partly why I didn't enjoy that show. I don't know. I think what I usually kind of claimed when I was watching that particular show is I didn't like how just very jarring the comedy was, and it always kind of ruined moments. But there's an element about tragic girlfriend shows where if you think you get a hint of it early on, it almost makes you not want to care about characters. And I don't necessarily think that's the case with this show, because I love Magari. She's super cute. I love her personality, and the chemistry and how they wrote her character is so great. So I haven't really had that feeling, but the moment I seen those pills, I'm like, there it is. She's still sick. Like, she claimed that she's all 100% better now, but no, she's still popping tons of pills. And yeah, you could say that's probably something as a preventative, not necessarily a cure. That's typically what medicines are. Is it's sort of most of the cases, it's just to kind of keep effects down. And so, yeah, you can say that that's not a death knell until episode 6. Episode 6 happened, and I'm like, there it is. Nail. Bing, 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 bing. It's in there. There's no doubt in my mind now this will be a tragic girlfriend show. And I don't know if I want to continue watching the show. I don't know. Should I stop? I'm probably not. I'm not going to stop watching it. But there is a side of me that's going, what are you doing? Turn around. You just seen the sign on the side of the road that literally says dead end cliff. And also terrain will collapse if you drive on it. So even if you think you have more room, it's going to collapse underneath you. Don't drive forward. Turn around. It says U-turn now. Why are you still driving? This is literally the moment. The moment that she said, please take lots of pictures of me. So I have something. It was what was it? What did it exactly say? To leave a trace of me behind. It's literally saying, Andrew, run away. It's literally the writer going, turn back now. Don't bother reading on. It's frustrating. And I think the reason why it frustrates me so much is I'm loving this show. I'm loving the chemistry and everything. But it's like, at some point you watch so many of these stories, you wonder, why am I even bothering? I know where this is going. Assumptions here. This is my layout of how I see this going. They continue to do things together. They're going to have this whole meteor shower thing. And eventually at some point, she doesn't show up at school. Oh, why isn't she at school? She must be just, having a fever or something. But then he's going to remember, leave a trace of me behind. And he's going to go, oh, what if it's something else? And he's going to rush over there and she's going to be, oh, I'm just fine. I just had a cold. And then cut forward a little bit longer. And then suddenly out of nowhere, she doesn't show up at school again. And somebody gets word that she's in the hospital. And then suddenly he panics, runs to the hospital and finds out that she has this incurable disease that in most cases, I can only think on top of my head one show that doesn't literally say what it is. Most cases, it's always some incurable, unknown disease that doctors even don't know what it is. Even American doctors don't even know what it is. And she's going to die. She only has 1 week to live. And then he's going, and there's going to be one of those moments where she's going to try to push him away, but he's going to keep visiting at the hospital because he doesn't want to make her believe that he's that type that would go, well, I need to distance myself because you're going to die and I don't want that tragedy. And she doesn't want him to feel that. And then once she passes away, that'll be his driving force to continue to get into astronomy and keep looking up at the stars, looking for her to wave back at him. There you go. I told you the whole story. You can stop watching now. Like, it's set everything up, and it's, again, assuming the writing's bad, and it's going to all play out like I think it's going to play, but that's typically how these stories go, and so the moment I see that, there's two sides of me that's fearful of this show. One is that, will it just do the typical tragic girlfriend stuff? And two, why do we have to do this? Do we not have enough confidence in our own writing that we don't have to rely on this to hit an emotional impact point? Why is this so relied on with a lot of these romance shows? There's a side of me that's almost sick of how obsessed Japan is with using this as a writing tool to create emotion and impact. You don't need to do that to write a good story. You could just have them have a relationship, run into problems, and grow from it. So, yes, the big question is, should I even continue? I don't know. Again, like I said, I'm going to continue it, but it sucks. It really does suck, and partly to do with the fact that I just really like these characters. I think they have a fantastic concept here. The chemistry is great. It is characters finding some sort of bond and strength through a similar issue. They both have insomnia, although they treat it differently, and in the past, they've sort of navigated it and confronted it differently. But in the end, they come together because they find a common cure, and it's comfort in each other. And again, I don't think it needs to rely on a tragic girlfriend to make that impact. Or for Nakami to find a cure for his insomnia through her dying. I just don't see it. Though you can argue the idea that having Magari pass away and Nakami getting into astronomy just to look for her is technically a cure for the issue because as an astronomer, as somebody that's looking up at the stars all the time, you're probably going to spend most of your time doing your work at night. And that could be his entire life going forward, is being a night owl that just goes out, takes photography, and sells it. But I don't know. That's just one man's take on this, and I've been struggling with it for a while, and it's one of those, like I said before, it's one of those moments where I kind of kick myself for joking about it, like right at the very beginning. Like I said, that moment that she stood up there and called for him, I was like, she's gonna be dead. Now, there was a small, like, little glimpse over here of like, oh, I wonder if it's gonna be one of those things where Magari's been a ghost this whole time, but I'm like, no, everybody keeps acknowledging her. I mean, literally in this recent episode, the teacher was chasing Magari around because she stole a fan. So I don't think it's gonna be one of those brain twist moments of, she was never there. It could, and they could just BS how the teacher was there and chasing after a cat instead or something like that. But I hate that I joked about it, because now it's kind of like, oh, well, you asked for it, it's realized, here it is. Now, the one thing that technically saves it is that I believe the source material is still ongoing, which is kind of concerning too, because that means that there's two things there. We might never get an answer from the anime, and it might just leave it on some nasty cliffhanger. Two, there's a possibility that, yeah, the overall story and where it goes after Magari passes is the story of Nakami finding joy after her passing. Or three, my biggest hope, the hope that I have at this point, is that it's more of an aspect of misdirection. It's making you believe that Magari is going to be a tragic girlfriend, but she's just frail, and yes, she does get sick, and there is a little bit of fear that she's going to have problems, but then she overcomes it, and then they just kind of move on. That's my hope. But again, we'll see. We'll see. But anyways, that's my random video on Insomniacs After School. I'm still loving it. Like I said, I just think the chemistry, the visuals, and everything's really fantastic, and I can't wait for more of it. But I just wanted to get on here and express my frustration with tragic girlfriends. Can we stop, Japan? We've done it too much. Move on from tragic girlfriends. I know they sold a lot of really great series. You don't have to keep doing it. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure to hit that like button down below, comment, let me know what you thought of the series, and if you're checking it out or where you're at on it. Maybe this video makes you go, man, I really want to watch it now. Or maybe this video makes you go, I just watched this because I'm never going to watch the show, and now I know I'm never going to watch the show. Let me know. Additionally, if you're new to the channel, make sure that subscribe button so you got my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions, top list of his anime is pretty much here. Additionally, if you want to support the channel more, I have a Patreon link, tips link, super thanks, and membership button down below. Greatly appreciate it, but it supports the channel, and y'all take care.